Hello, it's Bud. We're going to talk about Pattern Editor again today. This is part 3. Some of the stuff we've covered before, but I just want to show you something that may just help. Okay, I've brought up Designer, and a while back I scanned a piece of filigree. So I'm going to get it. Remember where I put it. Shapes. Filigree. Go to Master. And here's my original piece. Now it's kind of hard to see, but there are mountains in the center of this piece that should not be there. Okay, those are supposed to be voids. Now in the past, we've gone to Editor. Let me just bring this over here so you can see. That's really what it's supposed to look like when we get done, is here. And what I have done in the past, see, I'll just put that about like that, is go to my paintbrush and fill in here with whatever height I want. I want it to be basically 0. So I'm going to go to tool height, and since it's already showing a 0, I'm going to make it 0.002. And I come in here and I can paint this. I can make this larger so I can see what I'm going. But I've got a tedious job of filling this in without actually hitting by accident something I didn't want to do, and then I've got a bigger problem. Now I could undo it by going to Edit and say Undo, but it's still, I'll do that again. See, I can back up step by step. Every time I let up on the mouse, I can get rid of something. But it's very tedious, and this thing is, this has only got 4 voids in it, and some things may have a lot more than that, so we got to figure a better way. So I'm going to get out of Pattern Editor. I've still got my master here on the board, and I've also got, oops, didn't need to do that. Every time that is highlighted, it just brings in another board. I've also got some noise up here, and maybe we can get rid of both at the same time. It's not always going to happen. I'm going to click on the rectangle, and I'm going to make a rectangle that encompasses this whole thing. I could just encompass a small portion, but since I got that noise, I'm going to do that as well. Okay, so I got a rectangle. Now the depth on this filigree is a 5/16, just as a reference point. So I go to my rectangle and make it a carve region, and by default it goes to 250. I'm going to try to go as deep as I can. I'm going to do a 0.8. And that's what I want it to look like. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is highlight both of these, make it a group, highlight the group as well, and now I've got to make pattern icon that is active. I'm going to click on it, and I've got a junk, we've all got a junk area in our patterns that comes up automatically. I'm just going to call it sample, and save it. And I'm going to throw all that away. I'm going to go back to my library, click on the new ads, and here's my sample. So I bring my sample in. Alright, now I've got it to where it has a background to it that I don't want on the rest of the board. But as you can see, the filigree is what I want. Okay, let's just bring this back to front. Alright, so that's what I've got. So again, I'm going to open Pattern Editor. I'm going to click on the magic wand. The tolerance right now is at 233. I'm going to leave it there for a minute, and I'm just going to click on the magic wand here. Let me make this bigger so we can see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to bring in here and click the magic wand on the outside, and I've got the dancing ants all around this filigree on the outer edge, and then I've got the outer edge of the recess. So I'm going to go to my eraser, set the tool height at 0. Well, in fact, let's not use the eraser. The eraser I could use just to show you. And over here I've got a size bar on whatever size my pointer is. I could make that 50 or 70 or whatever. I can come in and go like that and selectively hit areas that are available inside those dancing ants, the two lines of the dancing ants. But if I come over here to the paint can, change my tool height to 0.0, and come over here, click, got rid of everything except that little indentation we had. So I click here on this dotted square and click in the design. Now I come back to my paintbrush, and total height I'm going to put to 0.0, and I'm going to come in here, make it big again, and I've gotten rid of that piece of noise. There may be other noise that'll show up, but at this point that's what we got. Alright, now let's go back to the paint can and let's make the height 0.002, and what I want to do is I want to paint these click on my square. Now if I set in here, I can see down here at the bottom the depth on this far right hand number changes to 002. So now I come up here to File, Save Pattern, come back over here to my junk, and I'm gonna click on Sample so it comes up just so I don't have to type. And I'm going to put a -1. That way if I want to, I can return to the other one and hit enter, or click on save. And I'm going to get out of Pattern Editor without saving. Let's throw this away, click again, and throw that away because I have one in memory. Come over here, and now I have sample and sample 1. Let's take sample 1, put it on the board, and I can look all around the edge and see if I've got any dots that I need to take care of, no noise or anything like that. And that ends up being a depth of 0.749 because I made the recess area a 0.8, and it just actually gives me a little better thing, and I can put whatever height I want on it to accentuate it. But I think that's a little better, a lot better, than having to try to come in here and just paint this particular area. And that is part 3 of Pattern Editor. I hope that helps.